Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive. We're going way back in time today to explore the story of Moses,
Oh, wow.
specifically his exile into Midian. And, you might be thinking, what on earth does an ancient story have to do with me in the 21st century? But trust me on this one,
Okay.
because this story is absolutely packed with surprising lessons, I think, in resilience and adaptability.
Absolutely.
Especially, I think, for entrepreneurs.
hmm
So to help us unpack all this, we have some excerpts from an article called Lessons from Moses' Journey to Midian, Resilience, Adaptability, and New Beginnings. And this is really going to help us see how Moses' experience offers a blueprint for navigating the unexpected twists and turns that pretty much every entrepreneur faces.
it really is amazing how a story from literally thousands of years ago can still
Hmm.
be so relevant to the challenges we face today
Right.
in the modern business world.
It really is. So the article breaks down Moses' journey into 5 key lessons, and we're going to dive deep into each one to extract those golden nuggets of wisdom that you can apply to your own journey as an entrepreneur.
I love it.
All right.
And the story starts with a pretty dramatic turn of events for Moses.
Okay.
Raised as a prince of Egypt,
hmm
and suddenly he finds himself a fugitive overnight, having to flee after let's just say, a workplace confrontation gone wrong.
Talk about a sudden change in fortune. One minute you're at the top of the pyramid, and the next you're in exile. That's got to be a gut-wrenching experience.
Yeah, and it's a really powerful analogy, I think, for the kinds of disruptions that can completely rock an entrepreneur's world.
Right.
So imagine, a sudden shift in the market or a key partnership just dissolves or a project that you've been working on hits a major roadblock.
Oh, yeah.
These are all situations that demand, quick thinking and adaptability and a whole lot of resilience.
Yeah, it's that moment when you realize that your carefully crafted business plan has just been tossed right out the window.
No, exactly.
So what can we learn from Moses about navigating these unexpected changes?
Well, the article emphasizes a crucial point for us, and that is that successful entrepreneurs anticipate change as a constant.
Okay.
And it's not about being pessimistic or anything. It's really about cultivating a mindset of flexibility and agility.
hmm
You need to be prepared to pivot and adjust your strategy and even reinvent yourself when the situation demands it.
So it's like having a mental plan B ready to go,
Yes.
even when you're hoping for the best with plan A.
Exactly. Think of the most successful entrepreneurs that you know. They're not afraid to adapt. They're not afraid to change course and to embrace new opportunities as they come up. And that's a skill that can be cultivated just like any other business skill.
Now let's shift gears for a sec and imagine Moses in exile. He's alone in a foreign land and stripped of his former status, forced to start over from scratch. Can you imagine being in his sandals?
I mean, it's a stark image of resilience in the face of adversity. And it mirrors the challenges that I think many entrepreneurs encounter. You launch a business, you pour your heart and soul into it, and then things don't go as planned.
Right.
You face setbacks, you experience failures, and you have to find the strength to pick yourself up and just keep going.
It's that grit factor that everyone talks about.
It is.
That ability to bounce back from adversity and just keep pushing forward even when it feels like the odds are stacked against you.
Moses exemplifies that grit. He doesn't just survive in Midian, he thrives.
Wow.
And the article points out that he didn't just endure hardship, he actively grew stronger through it.
That's a powerful point. Resilience isn't just about passively weathering the storm. It's about using those challenges as opportunities for growth and for learning. Now here's where Moses' story takes an interesting turn. Exile isn't all doom and gloom for him. He meets Zipporah, they marry, he becomes a shepherd, and builds a whole new life for himself.
It highlights this crucial aspect of resilience. It often involves embracing new beginnings. What might seem like a setback at first can actually lead to unexpected opportunities and a whole new chapter in your journey.
It's like that saying, when one door closes, another one opens. But sometimes we're so busy mourning that closed door that we miss the open one that's right in front of us.
Yeah.
Have you ever experienced this in your own entrepreneurial journey? A time when what seemed like a failure actually paved the way for something even better?
It's a question I think worth reflecting on. And Moses' experience reminds us that sometimes those unexpected detours can lead to incredible growth and discovery. Think about the entrepreneur who pivots their business model after a major market shift,
Oh, yeah.
or the founder who discovers like a hidden talent while they're working through a really challenging project. These moments of reinvention can be powerful catalysts for innovation and success.
So it's about shifting your perspective and seeing those new beginnings as opportunities rather than just setbacks. Now let's talk about Midian as a place of isolation and reflection for Moses. He's away from the demands of palace life, and it seems like he has the time and space to really connect with himself.
That's a key point that I think a lot of entrepreneurs overlook.
Okay.
They get so caught up in the hustle and bustle of building their businesses that they kind of neglect the importance of self-reflection and introspection.
Hmm.
They forget to step back and reassess their goals and reconnect with their core values.
It's like they're so busy climbing the ladder that they forget to check if it's leaning against the right wall.
Exactly. And that's why those quieter periods, even if they're forced upon us like Moses' exile, can be so valuable. It's a chance to really ask yourself the big questions. Like, why am I doing this? What truly matters to me? Am I living in alignment with my values?
It's like hitting the pause button on the whirlwind of entrepreneurial life so you can check your compass and make sure you're still heading in the right direction. And for Moses, it seems like that period of introspection led to a profound shift in his awareness. We're told that God hears the cries of the Israelites and remembers his covenant with them, setting the stage for Moses' future calling. It's like the pieces are starting to fall into place for his ultimate destiny.
It's interesting how the story frames this moment.
Mm.
It isn't just that Moses is ready. It's that the need and the opportunity align.
Oh, wow.
And for an entrepreneur, that's a powerful lesson. Sometimes success isn't just about what you build. It's about timing and relevance to a real problem people need solved.
So it's about being aware of the needs of your target market, just like Moses was attuned to the suffering of the Israelites.
Exactly. Successful businesses often emerge from a deep understanding of a community's needs or pain points. Think about the entrepreneurs who create products or services that solve real problems for people. They're not just selling something. They're offering a solution that makes a difference in people's lives.
So it's about connecting with your audience on a deeper level, understanding their challenges, and then offering a product or service that truly meets their needs. And it sounds like that connection, that sense of purpose, was a key part of Moses' story as well.
Absolutely. The article highlights how Moses, despite his initial reluctance, eventually embraces his calling to lead the Israelites out of Egypt. And that's a powerful reminder for all of us, but especially for entrepreneurs who are facing moments of self-doubt.
It's like that feeling of imposter syndrome that I think so many of us experience.
Yeah.
We question our abilities. We wonder if we're really cut out for this. And sometimes we even shy away from opportunities because we don't feel worthy. Have you ever experienced that in your own entrepreneurial journey?
I think everyone who's ever stepped outside their comfort zone to pursue a dream has wrestled with those feelings.
Hmm.
And what Moses' story reminds us is that those doubts don't have to hold us back. We have the potential to achieve great things even if we don't always see it in ourselves.
So it's about silencing that inner critic, trusting in our abilities, and taking that leap of faith even when we're feeling unsure. And sometimes it helps to have people around us who believe in us even when we're doubting ourselves.
That's where having a supportive network, mentors, advisors, fellow entrepreneurs can make all the difference. It's like having a cheering section to help you through those moments of self-doubt. And speaking of support, let's go back to Moses' wife, Zipporah. The article really highlights her role as a source of strength and guidance for him.
She sounds like a true partner in every sense of the word.
She is.
It reminds us that we don't have to navigate the ups and downs of entrepreneurship alone. Having a partner, a mentor, or even just a close friend who understands the challenges we're facing can be invaluable.
It's like having someone in your corner who can offer a different perspective, challenge your assumptions, and help you see things more clearly. And sometimes it's those closest to us who can see our potential even when we can't see it ourselves.
So we've explored several key lessons from Moses' time in Midian. Adaptability, resilience, embracing new beginnings, the importance of self-reflection, finding your purpose, and building a supportive network. But let's rewind a bit and focus on that period of self-discovery that Moses went through in Midian. The article talks about how he had to learn to adapt to a whole new way of life.
Absolutely. He went from living in a palace surrounded by luxury to tending sheep in the wilderness. It was a complete change of scenery and a radical shift in lifestyle. And yet he not only adapted, he thrived.
It makes you wonder, what would it take for us to truly step outside our comfort zones and embrace that level of change? It's easy to talk about being adaptable, but actually doing it is a whole other story.
You're right. It requires a willingness to let go of old patterns, to challenge our assumptions, and to be open to new ways of thinking and doing. And sometimes it takes a major disruption, like Moses' exile, to force us to make those changes.
But the article doesn't just highlight the need for adaptability, it also emphasizes the importance of resilience, that ability to bounce back from setbacks and keep moving forward.
And the article goes deeper than just saying, be resilient. It describes resilience as the bridge between setbacks and comebacks.
Oh, wow.
It's about having the mental and emotional fortitude to pick ourselves up after a failure, learn from our mistakes, and keep pushing toward our goals.
It's like that saying, fall 7 times, stand up 8. But how do we actually cultivate that kind of resilience? I mean, it's easy to say just keep going, but what about when it feels like everything is falling apart?
That's where the inner work comes in. Resilience isn't about ignoring our emotions or pretending that everything is okay. It's about acknowledging the difficulty of the situation, allowing ourselves to feel the frustration, the disappointment, even the fear, and then choosing to focus on what we can control.
So it's about finding that inner strength to keep going even when the going gets tough. And I think that's something that Moses embodies in his story. He didn't let his exile break him. He used it as an opportunity to grow and learn.
And that brings us back to the idea of embracing new beginnings. The article highlights how Moses didn't just survive in Midian, he built a new life for himself. He married, started a family, and learned the trade of shepherding. He found a new purpose and a new sense of belonging in this unexpected place.
It's like he found a new rhythm, a new way of being, even though it was vastly different from what he was used to. And that's a really encouraging thought, especially for anyone who's going through a major life transition, whether it's a career change, a move to a new city, or even a personal setback.
Absolutely. New beginnings aren't just about starting over. They're about opening ourselves up to new possibilities and unexpected opportunities. And that's a mindset that can serve entrepreneurs well.
Okay, so we've talked about adaptability, resilience, and new beginnings. But the article also emphasizes the importance of self-discovery, especially during those quieter moments in life.
Right. Moses' time in Midian was a period of isolation, but it was also a time for deep reflection. He had the space to connect with his inner self, to examine his values and beliefs, and to ultimately discern his true purpose.
It's like stepping away from the noise of the world so you can finally hear your own inner voice. And in a way, it's like Moses was incubating during that time in Midian. He was preparing for his future leadership role, even though he didn't know it at the time.
And that's a powerful lesson for entrepreneurs.
Okay.
Taking time for introspection, for reflection, for connecting with your core values is essential for both personal growth and professional success.
But let's be honest, finding that time for quiet reflection can be a challenge in today's world. We're constantly bombarded with information deadlines and distractions. It's like our minds are always racing.
You're absolutely right. It takes intentionality. It might mean setting aside time each day for meditation journaling, or simply disconnecting from technology and spending time in nature.
It's about creating those pockets of stillness in our busy lives so we can reconnect with ourselves and tap into that inner wisdom. And for Moses, it seems like that time of introspection was crucial for preparing him to answer his calling.
It's amazing to think that even someone like Moses, chosen to lead a nation, still had moments of doubt and uncertainty. The article touches on how he initially questioned whether he was the right person for the job.
It's a reminder that even the most extraordinary individuals grapple with self-doubt. And for entrepreneurs, those doubts can be magnified tenfold. We're constantly putting ourselves out there, taking risks, and facing the possibility of failure. It's natural to question our abilities and wonder if we're truly capable of achieving our goals.
It's that nagging voice inside our heads that says, who are you to think you can do this?
Right.
I think they call it imposter syndrome, right?
Yeah.
And it can be paralyzing if we let it take over. But Moses' story reminds us that we don't have to let those doubts define us. He ultimately stepped into his leadership role and achieved incredible things.
So what's the key to overcoming those feelings of self-doubt? How do we silence that inner critic and step into our full potential?
Well, the article highlights a few key strategies.
Okay.
First, it's about having a clear vision, a strong sense of purpose. When you know why you're doing what you're doing, it becomes easier to push through those moments of doubt.
Okay.
Second, it's about building a support system, surrounding yourself with people who believe in you and your vision.
Right.
And third, it's about taking action, even when you're feeling afraid. Sometimes the best way to overcome fear is to simply do the thing that scares you.
So it's about combining that inner clarity with external support and a willingness to take action even when it feels uncomfortable. And I think that's a powerful message for anyone who's ever felt stuck or held back by self-doubt.
Absolutely. And remember, even Moses had help along the way.
Sure.
The article points out the significant role his wife Zipporah played in his journey. She was a source of strength, guidance, and support.
It highlights the importance of having people in our lives who can offer a different perspective, challenge our assumptions, and encourage us to keep going when we're feeling discouraged.
Sometimes it's those closest to us who can see our potential even when we can't see it ourselves. They can remind us of our strengths, help us stay focused on our goals, and celebrate our victories along the way.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into Moses' time in Midian, we've uncovered some truly valuable insights for entrepreneurs like you.
We've explored the power of adaptability, the importance of resilience, the opportunity in new beginnings, the need for self-reflection, the courage to embrace our calling, the strength to overcome self-doubt, and the essential role of a supportive network.
And it all started with an ancient story that at first glance might have seemed irrelevant to the modern business world.
But as we've seen, the lessons from Moses' journey are timeless and universal. They speak to the human experience of facing challenges, overcoming adversity, and ultimately fulfilling our potential.
So here's a final thought-provoking question for you to ponder. What Midian moments have you experienced in your entrepreneurial journey? Those times of unexpected change, challenge, or even isolation? And what unexpected opportunities for growth did those experiences lead to?
We encourage you to reflect on those moments, to embrace the lessons they hold, and to use them as fuel for your continued growth and success.
And if you're looking for more inspiration and guidance on your entrepreneurial journey, be sure to check out the other episodes in our deep dive series.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep striving to make your entrepreneurial dreams a reality. It's amazing to think that even someone like Moses, chosen to lead a nation, still had moments of doubt and uncertainty. The article touches on how he initially questioned whether he was even the right person for the job.
Yeah, it's a good reminder that even the most extraordinary individuals grapple with self-doubt.
Right.
And I think for entrepreneurs, those doubts can be magnified tenfold because you're constantly putting yourself out there, taking risks, and facing the possibility of failure. It's so natural to question your abilities and wonder if you're truly capable of achieving your goals.
Yeah, it's that nagging voice inside our heads that says, who are you to think you can do this? I
Exactly.
think they call it imposter syndrome, right?
Yeah, totally. And it can be so paralyzing if we let it take over. But Moses' story reminds us that we don't have to let those doubts define us. He ultimately stepped into his leadership role and achieved incredible things. So what's the key to overcoming those feelings of self-doubt? How do we silence that inner critic and step into our full potential?
Well, the article highlights a few key strategies.
Okay.
First, it's about having a clear vision, a strong sense of purpose. When you know why you're doing what you're doing, it becomes easier to push through those moments of doubt.
Makes sense.
Second, it's about building a support system,
Okay.
surrounding yourself with people who believe in you and believe in your vision.
Yeah.
And third, it's about taking action even when you're feeling afraid. Sometimes the best way to overcome fear is to simply do the thing that scares you.
Yeah.
So it's about combining that inner clarity with external support and a willingness to take action even when it feels uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And I think that's a powerful message for anyone who's ever felt stuck or held back by self-doubt. Absolutely. And remember, even Moses had help along the way. The article points out the significant role that his wife Zipporah played in his journey.
Oh, yeah.
She was a source of strength, guidance, and support for him.
It highlights the importance of having those people in our lives who can offer a different perspective, challenge our assumptions, and encourage us to keep going when we're feeling discouraged.
Sometimes it's those closest to us who can see our potential even when we can't see it ourselves. They can remind us of our strengths and help us stay focused on our goals and celebrate our victories along the way.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into Moses' time in Midian, we've uncovered some truly valuable insights for entrepreneurs like you.
We've explored the power of adaptability, the importance of resilience, the opportunity that can come from new beginnings, the need for self-reflection, the courage to embrace our calling, the strength to overcome self-doubt, and the essential role of a supportive network.
And it all started with this ancient story that at first glance might have seemed irrelevant to the modern business world.
But as we've seen, the lessons from Moses' journey are timeless and universal. They speak to the human experience of facing challenges, overcoming adversity, and ultimately fulfilling our potential.
So here's a final thought-provoking question for you to ponder as you go about your day. What Midian moments have you experienced in your entrepreneurial journey? Those times of unexpected change or challenge or even isolation? And what unexpected opportunities for growth did those experiences lead to?
We encourage you to reflect on those moments, embrace the lessons they hold, and to use them as fuel for your continued growth and success.
And if you're looking for more inspiration and guidance on your entrepreneurial journey, be sure to check out the other episodes in our deep dive series. We'll see you in the next one.